Hi, what's up? Welcome to the program. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Jay Hernandez here with us. Magnum P.I. Season 2 coming back January 31st. What's
yes,
up, man?
sir. How are you, dude?
I'm doing really well.
Doing okay.
You caught some Knicks basketball this weekend. It's been a good time for you here in New York.
It was a great game, too, you know? Coming and putting on a performance like that in front of the Heat.
One of the best teams in the East.
It's like it's one of the, yeah, exactly. They're killing it. So it was one of those things. Yeah, we were just talking about this like almost buzzer-beating shot.
It was pretty
that
wild.
Changed the game. Yeah, it was exciting. It was a good game.
Well, it was nice too because they gave you the Magnum P.I. roll-in.
So they
did.
Like, that's right.
So it's like you got the show, you've done all these different movies. It's like, oh yeah, that's the guy.
Oh yeah.
So you got that going on too.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a great game.
Have you sat courtside before?
I have. I actually sat courtside for a Knicks game, but it was like 15 years ago or something like that. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you got season 2 coming up this.
Yeah.
What's this chapter been like? How have you grown as an actor personally?
For me, it's been fascinating, man. You know, I never thought that I would be playing this character.
Mm-hmm.
I never even thought there would be a reboot of this thing.
Yeah.
It's funny, I've said this a number of times, but you know, prior to me getting the first initial like exploratory call from, you know, the reps, would I be interested? I caught an episode of Magnum P.I, the old one with Tom, and he was like on the surf ski in this, I think, Kaneohe Bay in Hawaii, and beautiful backdrop of the mountains and the water and all that stuff. And it was like 2-3 months later, I was doing the exact same thing, like shooting like
amazing.
Pretty much like frame by frame
Verbatim,
the same scene that I had, you know, just randomly caught on TV. So in some ways, it's been quite surreal. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, the show is great. Like, my castmates are awesome. It's such an iconic character. My mother has never been more proud of me.
This is the one finally that's pushed you over the top. It's like, Jay, you're finally doing something.
She's like, but when do I get to meet Tom? He's not on the show.
It's like, can we make this happen?
He's not
it's
on
like,
the
Mom,
show.
I'm sorry. Like, can we just enjoy my role for once?
Can you just be proud of your son, like doing some cool stuff?
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
what has surprised you the most about playing this part and just doing the show in general?
I think what surprised me the most, I don't know. The fact that I'm doing it. You know, it's a show that I watched when I was a kid. I was a big fan of the show. You know, I just never would have imagined myself in this career, on this path, in this trajectory. It's not something I wanted to do as a kid. I wasn't like a young guy saying I want to be in Hollywood someday.
What were you
I got into Hollywood sort of late in the game. Sort of. I was about 19 or something like that, and that didn't really work until I was like 20s, like early 20s.
It took some time to build it out.
Yeah. It took a little bit of time. So it's not something that I I could have imagined being my reality. So there are moments when I have to like kind of pinch myself, like, is this really happening? Yeah, this is really cool. I mean, am I really in that Ferrari?
Is this actually happening?
They just let me drive a Ferrari around these beautiful
deal.
locations all the time? Okay, all right.
So what was the plan for you? Because acting was later in the game. What were you thinking initially?
You know, like I thought of sociology. I was a huge architecture fan, so that could have been a pathway. I still am, you know, like I love mid-century modernism. It's like, it's my thing.
It just resonates with you?
Yeah. I mean, I've literally purchased, like in Pasadena, I bought this house. This was years ago. I did it from like down to the studs. Like I was doing everything. I was like doing electrical and you know, tiling bathrooms and stuff like that. I am not afraid to get you know, it's kind of nice.
Detailed, yeah.
For me, it's kind of nice to get away from this thing and do something like sort of like creative with my hands, you know? So I don't know. Architecture could have been one of those career choices, but I don't know. And the fact that I'm here, I think, is just like it's you know, I honestly don't know what else I would be doing where I would be as satisfied. You know, because I like travel. I like, you know, sort of shifting things up and having, like, throwing myself in odd, different, strange, fun scenarios and meeting great people and interesting people and. There's not a better job than what I do for that kind of stuff, you know, if you're into that.
Yeah, it's nice you're fulfilled with that, but you can also flex the different muscles in other areas. I think it's important to have that because you can kind of just burn out doing this. You go from one project to the next. You need something creatively to just take your mind as far away from Magnum P.I. as I would imagine. Yeah,
no, it's funny. I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday, my manager, and there was a time around 2014, 2015, where I was like, I'm done, you know?
Really?
Like, I want to do other things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things I wanted to do, and and it was just before Suicide Squad, and then I booked Suicide Squad, and you know, kind of like it presented a lot of other opportunities, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna stick around for a while. It pulled me back in.
Isn't
it
amazing though how one part can kind of change that? Because that's a big deal.
Like, yeah, it was a huge deal. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was an amazing group of people. I mean, I made some of the best friends that I currently have on that film. So very thankful for that. But it's just like, you know, you never know, and you just have to sort of be open to experiences and sort of I don't know, the shifting winds. They kind of take you wherever they do, and you just got to be sort of on for the ride, you know.
Yeah, I look at your career, and you've done a lot of big budget films, it feels like, but Suicide Squad was probably massive comparatively.
I mean, yeah, those types of films, like those big superhero movies, it's like different scale. I mean, I've you know, in any budget from probably $4 million to, prior to that, I don't know, 90 million or something like that. But this is like in the hundreds.
Right, just blows it out of the water.
It's like a different level of filmmaking. There's so much riding on it. These studios are literally propped up by the success or the failure of these things. So yeah, it's a big endeavor. I mean, just like logistically thinking about like putting one of those movies together is mind-boggling. You know, it's almost like, you know, a small country going to war. You know what I'm saying?
It's really, you think about everything involved with it. It's
crazy, dude. It's insane that it actually happens, and they work, and they get made, and they make money. It's really, but you know, it was that was a great experience, and yeah, I'm very fortunate, man.
That's awesome. So what were some of the earlier ones for you where you're like, all right, I'm actually doing this thing, like I'm getting paid to do this thing, and like, you know, people are seeing it?
In high school, I never really played sports. I mean, I'm fairly athletic. I'm you know, I'm good at, you know, like athletically, but I never did.
Right.
So I got to do baseball movie.
Yeah, the Rookie, Friday Night Lights. I mean, these are some of the best sports movies of the past 20 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, like Friday Night Lights and Rookie, both amazing movies. So it's like I got to do all those things that I didn't really do in high school.
you got to be the high school football star.
I get to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And Crazy Beautiful, I actually played football too on that one. So yeah, I've had a lot of opportunity to sort of you know,
delve into that world.
Delve into different things, yeah, like sports, or you know, learn how to ride horses or learn how to ride motorcycles. You just like pick up all these crazy skills that you know, maybe a lot of people don't have.
That's cool. Did you read the Friday Night Lights book before?
I did. Yeah. I of course. Yeah, I just read it just for, you know, sort of background information to see, because it's always interesting to see, you know, how they turn a book into a screenplay, because it's obviously a different format, and you have to choose what's going to work for the script, or maybe you like combine characters or different things. So that's always just a fascinating process in terms of being a writer that I was interested in. So. Yeah, definitely read the book, and had an amazing time shooting the film. Peter Berg's a nut.
Oh my gosh!
It was actually,
what were some good Peter Berg stories?
Oh man, you know, there was it was like one of our first days together when the whole cast got together. We don't know where we're going. He puts us in a van. He's like, you know, he's all like curmudgeon, like just kind of wild man. The hair's all crazy.
Where were you guys shooting this?
In Austin, Texas.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we get in the van. And we pull up to like this nondescript building, and doors like fly open, and it's a boxing gym. And he's like, guys got to beat the crap out of each other. You're like, you're gonna get in the ring, and you're gonna fight, and you're gonna know what fighting is about, because he's a massive boxing fan.
Yeah, he's totally into that. Yeah.
So we're just like, all right. And I remember I get in the ring with Garrett Hedlund, and he's like, all right, Jay, whatever you do, don't punch me in the sternum. Because like, I don't know what happened, but he hit his chest somehow, and he had this injury. So obviously the first thing I do when I get in there is I punch him in the sternum. I punch him in the sternum, and then he's like, he's like flipping out. And then he proceeds to like chase me around the ring, and he punches me in the spine. And so now like I could barely walk, and he's like, you know, incapacitated. It was funny, man. It was a complete mess, but I mean, it was cool. It was like kind of a way that we all bonded and got to know each other. But it was like literally one of the first things we did when we got to the set.
That's quite an introduction to a movie. I'm sure it's a little different than some of the other ones you did.
A little different. We went in there and just beat the crap out of each other. But it was a lot of fun. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, even your character, like we were talking off camera, just coming from a rural spot and going to an Ivy League school, like that fit with Chavez. I mean, think about how the fact that he got there. I mean, it's amazing.
He did that, and then he like went back to Odessa and opened up. He had so much opportunity. Like he could have
done anything,
worked for a massive law firm, and you could have been living in New York making tons of money. But he's like, I'm gonna go home and make, go
back to Odessa.
Go help the people in the community and just have like a very simple life, and that's what he did.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty fascinating.
How about The Rookie? What do you remember from that experience? I mean, that was a fun movie.
That was like, it's like halcyon days. It was like. There's nothing sort of more, classic Americana than going and as the dew is settling on the grass in the morning, just throwing the baseball and talking, talking shop.
As good as it gets. It's like American Pie.
Dennis Quaid and on the weekends he had this band and he'd invite us to go watch like. Quaid on stage without shoes and like, cougars in the audience going just mad over Dennis Quaid, So yeah, I spent a lot. I've actually shot in Austin, Texas a bunch of times, but once again, it was a great movie. I think they just did a wonderful job telling that story, and it was touching, man. I like it's a really good sports movie.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah. And sports movies aren't easy to do too, but those are two that really nailed it.
Yeah, and it did super well. It was good, man. It was like that was actually probably one of the most fun because it was also early on in the career,
right?
Where I was still learning too. I was still sort of like cutting my teeth and watching guys like Quaid and. My first project with Kirsten, it's like I didn't know anything about anything. I was just like kind of
trying to absorb it all.
Feeling my way through the dark, and she was there, being very patient with a very green actor. You know what I mean? So yeah.
How about Bad Moms? I mean, that's another one where it's like, I'm sure you got the pitch and you're like, all right, this is kind of interesting, and then it blows up into this whole phenomenon.
Well, okay, well, I mean, I'll do it. The thing about that movie that was fascinating was just watching this amazing group of women, just super talented, just riff. I mean,
going for it.
There's stuff that like nobody will ever see, didn't make the cut just because maybe it was too much or whatever time. But like these women were just brilliant, dude. Kathryn Hahn is a beast.
Oh my gosh, she was here last year. Just amazing.
She's so funny. And she can also do. She could do drama, she could do comedy. She has such range, and it was just, it was really cool to watch like a group of women like that just kill it. You know what I mean?
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it made a ton of money.
Yeah, so that also is a good thing. It's like, let's roll out a second one. Let's go for it.
Yeah, we didn't even expect that to happen, right. And I was like trying to remember. I don't know where I was schedule-wise, but I was like, yeah, absolutely, I want to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So who are the people you've learned from the most? Because like you've worked with a ton of really great people. I mean, even like Travolta, Nick Cage. Like, who are some people you picked up some stuff from along the way?
I mean, first one of the first times I really had like a really extensive amount of prep work, because like early on in the career, you don't have the luxury of like, hey, I'm, Tom Cruise. I have 2 years to think about this role. It's like, I got lucky just to get cast in this thing. I have like 2 weeks to get ready.
Barely that,
you just got to jump into things. But with the World Trade Center, with Oliver Stone, it was one of the first times where I had really an extensive amount of like sort of pre-production research, development kind of time in terms of like the character, knowing the story, and delving into like the events of the day, which was actually obviously very devastating and very tough stuff to delve into. But the level of preparation and thoughtfulness and care that he approached the project with, that did leave an impact on me. Just being aware of the process and like respectful of the process, and obviously that was kind of a unique thing, but I mean, when I have time, depending on what the character is, what the role is, it's like, yes, I need to do all my homework, you know.
It helps.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And it's stuff like, half of it you don't even think about once you're there, but it's like getting there, all that stuff before informs like the moments, you know, the interactions, the stuff you're doing
you're ready
on film, yeah, so.
That must have been a beast to try and get that all together. I mean, that's really sensitive topics.
Yeah.
That's trying to nail that.
You know,
like, it's not
it's
an easy
funny
thing.
being here in New York. I passed by the memorial, the 9/11 memorial, and the name of the character that I played is on that memorial. You know, and so in the film, I obviously wanted to really pay respects to the family and all that, and to all the people who serve in the Port Authority and the New York
so many different people involved.
Yeah, it was very touching, man. It was one of the most like emotional events that I ever been to. Was the premiere here in New York. Firefighters, NYPD, everybody was there. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, man. It was like you seen big burly men just like
just weeping,
broken from what happened, you know. And it's like it was devastating but powerful, and I'm proud to have been a part of that one, you know what I mean? It was really special.
That's really cool. So why don't we bring it home to this guy here in Magnum P.I. What can people expect in season 2?
Season 2, I mean, it's a lot of kind of similar stuff. There's obviously a lot of action. It's fun. I mean, the thing that I think is really great about the show is that it touches on so many different demographics. Like kids can watch it with their grandparents. You know what I'm saying? And they both enjoy it. And I know that because I fly quite often, and in the airports you're seeing people from all the states, all different walks of life, also socioeconomics, you know, stratas. It's like everyone's at the airport. So there is when you kind of get in a sense of like people are watching the show. They're really watching the show. It's like I had a buddy. Or not a buddy, I was at a dinner with a friend of mine, and some man comes up to me, he's like, hey, my mother really loves the show. Would you mind taking a picture? And she comes over like in a walker, you know what I mean? I was like, that's super rad though. She was like really excited. It was her birthday, so she wanted to take a picture, and I was like, that's amazing.
You're hitting everybody. With CBS, it's like it can go from that age, and it can be people in their 20s.
And then there's like, you know, like I said, like 5, 10-year-olds who love the show. Like kids really love the show.
I'm sure, it's a cool show to watch, and if you're that age too, you're like, I want to be like that guy.
And it's not, you know, it's not overly violent, or you know, it's like it's kind of light. There's a little levity added to it. There's a lot of like comedic beats. Like Bobby Lee is coming on the show again. That's cool, he plays this like kind of street cat. You know, he's really funny. It's like kind of an endearing quality to him. But yeah, just a lot of the same, a lot of action. I'm running. I'm like constantly running.
Got to be in good shape for that.
Got to be in good shape. Like if you, it's really easy to pull a hamstring. I'm not 22. You know
like,
what I mean?
Can we take that again? I didn't get a full burst there.
Seriously, All
right, man. Well, congratulations on everything. Best of luck.
Thank you, man.
Check this guy out, season 2, January 31st. For Jay, I'm DJ. See you next time here on The Sit Down.